All right, you guys, I've been waiting for this day forever.
Big Mama has a beautiful clutch of eggs here.
Ooh, Big Mama, you did so good.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good eggs and 1 slug.
I'm so hyped. This is my first ball python production ever. I have to switch gears now and spend the next couple hours putting together an incubator for these bad boys. I am so excited. So guys, just a quick note on the incubator situation. I had every intention of creating my own DIY incubator. I'd been accumulating the parts over the last couple of months, and it was a little bit of a different build. I got the idea and the design from Reach Out Reptiles, which I'll link in the description. Different because instead of a electric heat mat, I use your classic self-regulating aquarium heater submerged in water. I'm just gonna give you a quick second of it so that you get the idea of what I had built. I got a cooler, and I have a self-regulating aquarium heater set to 88 degrees, a small power head that circulates the water. So the water is at 89.7 actually. And then in here we have a free floating egg box with very damp vermiculite, egg crate over top so that the eggs don't actually get wet. I used to have this up on a metal rack suspended, but it wasn't getting warm enough, so now I've got it actually floating in the water. So there you have it. It was absolutely functional, just a little bit too janky, and better safe than sorry, I felt. I didn't want to deal with 60 days of anxiety. I'd rather have a sure thing, and so I went for the professionally made store-bought Reptibator. These things retail for $250. I got one off Kijiji delivered to my house for $100. So that was a pretty good deal. If it can't be DIY, then you know I'm all about those thrifty deals. Now, because I am an amateur and kind of a dumbass, I didn't have all this stuff ready to go when she laid. Instead, I kicked into gear as soon as I saw the eggs in trying to get an incubator built, and then when I decided it wasn't good enough to purchase one. And I managed to get that all done in 24 hours, but still, it would have been much better to take those eggs as soon as I found them and move them into this secure, stable incubator environment. It's not the end of the world. In the wild, of course, there are no incubators. The eggs just stay with their moms. So I think we're fine, but in hindsight, I wish I got everything ready beforehand, which is, you know, absolutely standard practice, but I guess I just dropped the ball on that. All worked out in the end though. If I hadn't been able to get my hands on that Reptibator, I think I could have used my DIY one, but I would have tried to switch over as soon as it was feasible. All right, now I know that was maybe a little bit boring for the people who are here to see the eggs or to see the snake bite that occurs later in the video, but I want to keep this a little bit educational just for anybody who's out there doing the same thing as what I'm doing here. With that said, let's get back to the footage of the egg removal. What I'm gonna do now is, for the second time, unfortunately, separate mom from her eggs. I did it once already when I was checking to see if she had eggs. Sure enough, she did. So here is our proud mom. She's normally a pretty defensive snake, but right now she's an absolute menace. Like, she is gonna try to bite me for sure. Normally she just shirks away from me. Right now she's gonna try to bite me. And let's see how it goes. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mama. Oh, this is going better than I thought. Can you let go? Can you let go? Yeah. Good job. Okay, that's awesome. So I grabbed these, put her back. Check that out. Because I'm a G, I actually already removed the one infertile egg that was in the mix, and we're just going to move these over to the incubator. And I have moist vermiculite with some plastic egg crate light diffuser to keep the eggs from actually touching it and getting wet and possibly molding up. And then I have a largely sealed Tupperware with just 2 holes for airflow. Then I have 2 other Tupperwares that are filled with nothing but plain old tap water. And those will reach the specified temperature, and they'll hold that temperature better than just empty space would. Now, Mom, who has just been robbed of her babies, she's in an environment where she can still smell her eggs on everything.
and she's in mom mode. What we have to do, and I hate to do it because this is pretty fresh chip substrate to begin with, we got to get rid of all of it because it has her egg scent, and she's going to continue to be super mean and defensive until we can get that scent completely washed away from her enclosure here. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Oh, see, she's biting at me. Alright, you guys, interestingly enough, this is a snake that hates water. And even in this relatively tiny receptacle, she has been loving the water. She's got her head out now, but I watched her for a solid 5 minutes with her head under the water. And you just know she was drinking like crazy and rehydrating because it's really taxing work to produce those eggs. Alright, you guys, so we're just putting Big Mama back in her enclosure, but I wanted to show you real quick, ooh, without her biting me. Ow! No, she's biting me. How deflated this snake is. This was all eggs before, but now it's an absolute concave. And you can see where she got me on the thumb there. Putting her away in her tub. She's still very much in mom mode, but that scent of her eggs is all washed off, so she should go back to normal pretty quick here. This probably doesn't do anything for my reputation, but it might give me some views. Here's the bite from our girl, Big Mama. That's about as bad as it gets with these snakes. Felt like a tattoo needle and went about as deep. They do have, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit of an anticoagulant in their saliva, so you're gonna bleed even when you get bit by like the tiniest, shallowest snake bite. But it doesn't hurt at all, and just wakes you up a little bit. They heal like nothing, and it's not a concern. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Next up, just days away, is our girl Stunner, who is a Superfly pinstripe. That means she's a super pastel, a fire, and a pinstripe gene. And she's bred to my banana, so we could get some really fancy 5-gene snakes out of this girl if we're lucky. And I will keep you posted on how that goes. Alright, so you guys are officially up to date on everything going on with my first ever clutch of ball python eggs. This isn't meant to be a tutorial on how to do this stuff. It's meant to be a documentation of my journey doing this stuff. I don't feel like I'm in a position to be teaching you how to do it when I'm not an expert yet myself. But hopefully you can still have fun and maybe learn a thing or two watching me go through this process. And I'm happy to share the journey with you guys every step of the way. Like I just showed you, I do have more snake eggs coming, which I'm excited for. And I also still have my gravid Brazilian rainbow boa. That is an animal that gives live birth. One of these mornings I'm gonna wake up to, 10 to 30 squirmy little Brazilian rainbow boas, which is gonna be the highlight of my year. So if that's something that you wanna see, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. Shoot me a comment if you have any questions you wanna ask me about anything in this video. Check out my other videos. We got everything ranging from reptile breeding, like we saw here today, to herping, which is when you go and find reptiles out in the wilderness, and a bunch of other weird stuff too. So thanks for watching Hoi Noi TV. I'm your boy, Hoi Noi. Stands for horrible noise because I make really bad music. You can check that out on Spotify. You can also check us out on SoundCloud, where you can download our music for free on soundcloud.com/headhonchoband. If you want to see more from me, you can check out my Instagram. Search Horrible on your Instagram app. I'm generally, depending on where you are, the first result on the planet for the word horrible, which is something I'm very proud of. I do weird, kind of dirty, sometimes political cartoons. Get over to Instagram, check it out. Also SoundCloud, like I said. Come on, I'm an up-and-comer. I'm doing all this different shit, and I need your support. So click through and keep it real. Thank you very much. Good night.